Hey guys, good morning. This is Dan. Welcome to Engelgeist. For those of you that are new, welcome. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. Um, this is the Sunday reading, which is technically the underpinning reading of the week, right? For all signs. So, for those of you that support me over on Patreon, also thank you very, very much. Okay. Um, what this is it's going to be three tarot cards and then one oracle card and then a grounding stone. The three tarot cards represent, a couple of days of the week, sort of the underpinning overall collective energy that we might be sharing or that might be going on around us that we can be experiencing, seeking out, capitalizing on, working with, or being aware of and attempting to avoid if it's something that we don't want to deal with, right? Some of you may experience only one of these cards. Some of you may experience all of these cards and then some, right? It really depends on your trajectory, your perspective, your awareness, all of that sort of stuff. So there's a lot of flexibility within the reading. It's originally created for the week of Sunday, starting Sunday, February 6th through the 12th. Okay. But it's not solely set for those dates. It's a reading, and I believe readings can be timeless. If the message reaches you on a date that's different than the 6th, that's fine. Or any time between the 6th and the 12th. If you're looking at this, let's say, next year in November and it makes sense to you, it happened to show up in your feed, trust that that's maybe your astral body or your higher consciousness coming to you and bringing the message to you when you need it rather than when it was originally created for, okay? So, beyond that, housekeeping rules. Check out the drop down menu on any of my daily videos. It does show you how to get in contact with me via social media if you want to follow me. I'm not a huge Instagrammer. If I have any Instagrammers out there, please help me by sharing my content on Instagram. I don't really know how. That's how lame I am, but whatever. Technologically challenged. I'm not embarrassed. You can share my stuff on Facebook wherever you think it would best be utilized. I would greatly appreciate the shares. For those of you that are new that want to subscribe and enjoy my content, please hit the thumbs up button and please, please, please hit that notification bell. Subscribe so that you know when I upload a new video. I do daily content. This is a daily reading that happens. This Sunday reading is always not only a daily, right, for the Sunday, but it kind of gives us insight into sort of also the week and what we'll be building upon. And then with each day of the week, I kind of refer back to the Sunday reading and combine those cards into the daily readings for the week. So that's how I work. A lot of you that watch me, my viewers, you understand that already, but I need to explain that to anybody who might come across on this video new to me, okay? One other thing you might need to know is that I am a Pisces. I do get emotional. I have a Pisces sun sign, Pisces moon, Mercury, and a Pisces Venus. So I am a triple Pisces in the sense that I have a fair amount of planets. I'm heavily placed in Pisces, and so just be aware of that. So when I cry or if I cry, don't let it scare you. And if you cry, it doesn't scare me. Tears are sort of the cleansing of the soul, in my opinion. So other than that, welcome, and let's see what the cards have in store for us for this week. I'm kind of interested to see how this week is going to roll out for everybody involved. And it's cold here this morning. Let me tell you that. It's cold, cold, cold. The only good thing I realized, the good thing I realized about the cold when it's this frigid outside, like where the grass is like frosty and frozen, is it's really easy to pick up dog poop. I have 6 dogs, for those of you that don't know. And so when they poop, it freezes. And I can get it so easily. Like, that's the only benefit to cold weather. My hands are freezing. Like, I hate it. But I was like out there today picking up dog poop and I was like, oh my God, this is so easy. It's like, it just snaps right up off the ground. There's no muss, no fuss. So I just thought that was funny. So I thought I would share. All right, let's see what these cards want to tell us today. And again, thank you for being here. Like, I just need to call out some of my people, you know, Vicky, Beth, Andrew, Rose, Marita, you know, Mary, Tammy, Jen Nichols, Karen Stringer, thank you guys for supporting me. Laura Gibson, thank you for supporting me, you guys. I've been at this for 4 years, trying to grow this channel. And for those of you that tune in, Melinda Pantano, you know, those of you that tune in and you comment, Bobby Joe, I really, really, really do appreciate it. So, oh, and that's another thing, Lee, and that's what I mean, like me and being a Pisces, I can get really emotional really fast. But don't let it scare you. What was I going to say to you? Please leave a question or comment. Also, that greatly helps. I do read them and I do check them out. All right, so I've gone a little long this morning. I don't know why. Daniel of the Long Wind, we will call it. That will be my Indian given name today. All right, so let's see what the cards have in store for us for this week. And we are kicking off this week with the Ace of Air again. This sort of clarity of thought, communication. We've seen this card already 3 times this month, which is really interesting to me. And once we saw it, I pre-taped the beginning of February because I was traveling in the beginning of February. So I like to pre-tape them earlier than I normally would so that I have them ready to upload them. So the Ace of Air was the first card that we saw right before the last card of the day that we saw when I was returning. And so 3 days later, I did the next days. I was back home. I did the next day's reading, and it was this card again. The Ace of Air is all about, to me, new thought, clear thinking, opening our mind, trying to look at something from a different perspective, being made aware of something, a revelation, an insight, a way of seeing the world that we maybe haven't seen it before, a clearing of our intentions. I'm going to actually read you because we've seen this so much. I want to read this to you from the Da Vinci's book. This is the Da Vinci Tarot. And this book is a little bit different. He calls the minor arcana the microcosm cards, which is interesting to me because I've always looked at my readings as macrocosm, microcosm. Like the Sunday reading is the macrocosm, which is the bigger underpinning energy of everything. And then each daily reading is like the, you know, more day to day added to issues that we're dealing with. So it says here, Air, Dimi, what are your intentions? Study of storm clouds over the sea. The background, Leonardo wrote of the air, the changeable temperature of the wind is shown by the dust that it raises into the air in gusts and turning eddies, and by the flags of ships that flutter in different directions. The soul code is clarity of intention is a virtue by which the soul is eternally protected. An alert mind is not confused by many turnings on the road of destiny, but clearly discerns lies and misleading signals. Truth is a sword in your hand to protect the vulnerable and keep open the ways of life without fear. And that's often how the Ace of Air is the Ace of Swords. It deals with clarity of mind, clarity of thought, new thought, being brought to us, an awareness. I love this phrase where it says, it is shown by the dust that it raises into the air in gusts and turning eddies, meaning whatever has been like circulating around us in our head, in our brain, in our thoughts, maybe it's time to get some clarity on that and let it blow around and then blow away or change, transform. The aces are always about sort of transformation or things coming out of nowhere where we're unexpectedly shifted in a way, but right, always in a positive way, but a shift nonetheless. So it says upright, clear focus and quick-wittedness will help you succeed. Clarity of intention and determination can bring you through. If you assert your rights, you will be irresistible. Whatever your ambition, go for it now. Reversed, which actually I will say this did come out reversed this morning. I just flipped it over because I don't necessarily do reversals. So I'm going to read you the reversal. It says, discriminate and focus upon essentials. Aggression and hostility surround you, but force is not necessarily the answer. Seek the calm clarity of truth rather than the goad of criticism. Ambitions are on hold. And then it says, disconnected. Hasty decisions can lead to self-sabotage and ruin things. A lack of boundaries lets in opponents and opportunists. Guard yourself more carefully and connect with the pivot of your will. So interesting, because this deck, each backing of each card is sort of got a different backing design. So it's hard to tell which is upright and which isn't. Like if you look at this, they're each different, so you really can't tell. So I'm just going to pull the next card. I may have to put that in there. And we have Enigma, and she's also inverted. I'm going to upright her because I don't know. Now, Enigma, to me, I believe she's the High Priestess. I want to make sure of that in this book. Second card of the deck, I believe, is High Priestess. We have the Fool, the Magician, and then the High Priestess. And I just want to make sure and verify that that's indeed the case. It is. The Enigma, and I love that they use the Mona Lisa for this, because the High Priestess is Piscean energy, right? She can be emotional, but she's also very, withdrawn. She's sort of secretive. She holds the secrets, the keys, the answers. Sometimes she delivers those secrets to us or those awarenesses to us in ways that we don't fully understand. And I love how he uses the Mona Lisa in this as this card, or how the author uses the Mona Lisa as this card, because there's been so many indications. Is she smiling? What is she smiling about? What is she thinking about? So she is the perfect High Priestess, right? The High Priestess is one of the pillar cards of the Major Arcana. So the midweek, this being a Major Arcana card in here, and as having this Ace of Swords energy going on, there should be a clarity of thought or a shifting of our thinking, how we communicate, and then maybe possibly refraining from communication to a degree. There's this sort of secrecy within the High Priestess where even if we have the knowledge, it doesn't necessarily mean that we have to blurt it out, share it, or force anybody else to understand it. All we need is to understand that knowledge. Does that make sense? And so when I look at her there, she seems very secure, centered, aware, present in the present moment. She's staring us down, boots down, stare. Get it, Mona Lisa. But, she's also got her arms folded in front of her. She's somewhat guarded. She is somewhat protecting maybe what it is she knows, or what it is she's trying to change, what it is she's trying to perceive or has already perceived. Does that make sense? And so this is a seat of power. Between the Ace of Air, which would be the Ace of Swords, and the High Priestess, we're learning something profound this week. Probably within and about ourselves. It could be around a situation, but it empowers us ultimately, is my feeling, with both of these cards being here. Even though both of these cards have come out reversed, I'm not necessarily worried about that as much. I'm more interested in what's going on there, right? I'm interested in the fact that both of these are about, how do I want to say this? New power, new awareness. But when I say power, oftentimes power is associated with putting it outward into the world, forcing change or issuing change. And I don't feel like that's the case with this. The ace would indicate a number one, which would be within ourselves. And the secrecy and the quietness of the High Priestess. She's strong, knowledgeable, centered, yet she doesn't need to prove herself to anyone. She's kind of I keep going back to that Kuan Yin deck in my mind, but she's kind of like that Here, the Yellow Tiger mother. It's listen to the roar that is within, but you don't necessarily have to roar that out into the world. You just have to kind of be that knowledge, be that wisdom that exists within you in the midweek, okay? It will serve you well. It may reveal itself to you slowly or in time, but allow it to, because it's going to center you and it's going to give you perspective, and you're going to be able to see something probably very, very clearly for what it is my feeling. Now, the last card is the Four of Air, which is repose. Four of Air traditionally is the Four of Swords, which I find interesting because we have the Ace of Air at the beginning of the week. The Four of Swords is oftentimes about going into contemplation, shutting out other people's ideas, thoughts, opinions about whatever it is that you're doing in your life, whatever it is that you might be working on spiritually, mentally, your thoughts. The Four of Swords is about kind of quieting those voices, those outside influences, and going inward and really stabilizing, foundationalizing, bringing your thoughts to a place of peace, quiet, and clarity. I love that this is called repose, because repose to me is like to, pull back and pause, to rest in a way, and I love these hands where they're kind of holding ourselves gently, similar to how the high priestess has her arms folded in front of her. There's an opportunity here for us to, I feel like, gain an awareness, own it, and then value it so much so that we hold it close to ourselves this week. That it gives us peace by the end of the week. That would be like the Four of Air to me. That is that kind of quiet, knowledgeable, contemplative, meditative perspective that allows us to really acclimate it or make it our own by holding it close to us, right? To me, these cards feel like this is a hold your cards close to your chest week, if that makes sense. Learn it for yourself, experience it for yourself, and own it for yourself, and operate from it too. That's the high priestess too. She operates from the secrets and the awareness that she knows, but oftentimes others may not understand why she is operating the way that she is, or for what reasons. And to me, the Four of Air would indicate it doesn't matter what others think. It only matters what we think, right? So let's see what the Truth Seeker or the Seeker Oracle has to say. Interesting, I said Truth Seeker when we're looking at these three cards together. We have Trust in Science. Really strange card. It's interesting because she kind of gives me High Priestess vibes, being like this strong, sort of feminine, connected woman. But there's also a truth in science, right? And, science is proven fact in a way to me, in my mind. We see the knowledge of the books. We see the E equals MC squared. We see the potions and the magic of the High Priestess. But we also see, when I see the joining of science, to me, that's the clarity of thought of both the Four of Air and the Ace of Air at work in our lives. That's the awareness and the dedication to the changing of our thoughts, our communications in such a way that we can trust in that, that it is factual for us. That's the science aspect of this card to me. There's a mixture of, sort of it, how do I want to put this? With this science card, what I'm seeing here with the designs is that, you see the beakers and the different forms, the DNA strands, all of that stuff is sort of magical and untouchable and sort of weirdly spiritual in a way, yet it is scientific, proven, and has been found. Does that make sense? And so when I think about the High Priestess being in the middle of this, we might be finding our own truth or our own science, our own awareness this week, that we need to trust in it. And we need to focus on that trust and the power of that. Now let's read Trust in Science's story really quick. Sorry, this has gone on a little long. All right, science can be defined as the methodical study of the nature and behavior of the universe and all that dwells within it by making an observation, forming a hypothesis, and then testing the hypothesis through investigation and experimentation. So to me, right here, the hypothesis would be the Ace of Air. The testing of it would be the quietness and the secrecy of the High Priestess. And then the answer would be our Four of Air of inner contemplation throughout this week. Scientists, just like the rest of us, are not perfect. However, when it becomes clear that a hypothesis, an idea that explains a particular phenomenon or makes an educated guess, is flawed, they are willing to accept that they have made an error and invest more time in further study. A scientist accepts they do not know everything. They do not mind being proven wrong because it is the truth that matters. Facts matter. Scientists employ rigorous methods to find their answers. They do not offer an unsubstantiated opinion. At worst, they will offer an educated guess. They will admit when they do not know the answer. When they do offer a solution, it is often based on years of research, observation, investigation, and experimentation. They are experts at what they do, and their only goal is to expand our knowledge and improve our lives. The message of this card is simple. While it is wise to have a questioning mind, there are times when we need to heed the wisdom and advice of experts rather than those who claim knowledge outside of their field. You would not seek out a plumber to better understand how the human brain functions. You would seek out a neuroscientist. You would not seek out a chef for insight into how infectious diseases affect us. You would seek out an epidemiologist. All might be experts in their fields, but they are not experts in fields outside their area of study or practice. Be sure that you are obtaining your information from the most knowledgeable source. Trust in science. Science is magic explained. And that's what I was saying about the beakers and the DNA strand and stuff. It's like, even though that stuff is sort of weird and magical and kind of never at one point did not exist, we have found it through science and made it fact. And I think that there's secrets within this High Priestess and within this Ace of Air this week that we could very easily find and turn into factual information in our life that we can use for our own empowerment. But we need to sort of connect with the right people, connect with the right study, make the correct observations. I mean, let's look at Mona Lisa here. She's staring us dead in the face with no expression. She's not showing her cards this week. She's studying. She's listening. She's paying attention. So we need to be doing that this week as we, well, the cards are making the camera do weird things. I think it's that study and trust in science card. We need to be doing that from a place of, sort of wisdom and intuition and blending those things and being our own, scientists, testing our hypotheses on whatever it may be, right? That is our goal this week. Now, for the interesting, and this is weird because I just threw this back in the bag this morning. The grounding stone for the week, guys, it was yesterday's grounding stone. I've never had two grounding stones pop out, I think, in the same 2 days in a row, is the word vision. And what I mean by that, why I think it's interesting that it shows up again today, is it's like now is the time, I think, to be building the awareness of what it is we know, what it is we want, how it is we want it to be, and then maybe testing those hypotheses, right? Or those steps to get there, the challenges we may have to face, but doing it from a way that is balanced, that is grounded, that is peaceful, that is very steady, slow, methodical, similar to how science would be, right? You have to test out certain theories and then maybe test and retest, or look and look again, right? Look or look a little bit deeper into our thoughts, into our mind, into our communication, so that we can further expand the idea of this vision. Each one of you individually will have a different vision of what it is you want or desire, or where you want to be over the next week or month or this next year. But this reading is saying, okay, so let's ground in that vision And let's look at it from a sort of a logical space, which would be the Ace of Air and also the Four of Air. But also, let's not forget the part of spirit, which in the secrets that are in there, which is that high priestess in the center, Mona Lisa. I hope that makes sense, you guys. That is your forecast for the day. Again, thank you so much for tuning in, all of you. I do love you all. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. And I look forward to seeing how this week unfolds. It's a very interesting reading. And we'll see how the other cards play out. You guys have a wonderful day and take care. Bye-bye.